Hey, what's up guys? My name is Artorigold with LFG, and today I wanted to go over a Sigma VOD for my good friend Isaiah, who I play a lot of games with, and basically I'm going to try and coach him and try to get him a little bit better at the game and better at Sigma. So as you can see, he is in gold, so this is probably around that gold platinum level, and we are on Havana, and we're kind of going to go through the steps here and see exactly on all the stuff that we could kind of improve on. So it's pretty good to play around this corner. First off, you should always play around corners as a tank, so that's always really good. So here's one of the things that we got going on here. They have a Genji, Ball, and Winston. So as you can see, they're kind of running a dive comp, and they're already like leaping behind to get his team. So as a tank player, you have a decision. Are you going to peel, or are you going to basically stop the cart and stop whoever's on the point? In this case, of course, you have the McCree and the Mercy who are on the point, while you see the Genji and both tanks are already in the back line. So this play is okay, but you kind of need to be stopping the cart here. So he's not peeling. So one of the things he could be doing right now is turning around and shooting the rock at the people who are diving to try and help him peel for his team. And then at the same time, you could try and push and stay on the cart to make sure that they don't get any space. Because right now on the point, the only person is a McCree. So if I were him in this spot... Oh, whoops, I think I went backwards a little bit. So playing around this pillar, by the way, on Havana is very good as the main tank. You always want to play around a corner. First off, the reason is pretty simple, because if you have your shield here and you need to recharge it, you just go back here and you wait for it to recharge while, you know, not really having to worry about anything because you're hiding behind this cover. So anyways, though, before that, let's get back to that first point that I was making. So essentially what you got going on here is you got the people diving in your back line. You missed the rock, which is unfortunate. Personally, I wouldn't have gone for that rock either, by the way. If you see a wrecking ball who's moving around in the air, the odds of you hitting it, you know, is it really worth it? You should set yourself up for successful rocks, ones that are pretty much always going to land. In this case, I would wait for the ball to use his slam, because you can predict exactly where he's going to be, and then you should use the rock. So that's how I would use it. But back to the point I was trying to get to. So both tanks and Genji are gone. You missed the rock, but that's okay. Basically what you want to do here, it's a pretty good grasp. It's not great, but when you get slammed in the air like that, the McCree is going to get shots on you. So yeah, I think that was a very good grasp. Here the problem is that you're backing up. There's no reason for you to back up right there. The only person on the point is a Mercy and McCree, and you just killed the Hammond. So why are you, as the main tank, now backing away from the action? You need to be the one on the front line. You should be on the point right here. And I guess you realize that, so you kind of go up there. But yeah, you shouldn't have given that space. Honestly, the point should never have been here. The point should have probably been around here, because you killed the Hammond around here. There's no reason for the point to be here. And also, I think you're a little bit too afraid of this McCree. You have a huge advantage over this guy. But let's see how it plays out first. Miss the rock. You shouldn't be pushing into his face like that. Okay, so yes, you should be a little bit more aggressive on the McCree to get him away from this area, but you shouldn't go into flashbang range. That's not something you should do as Sigma. It's pretty obvious. McCree has flashbang, and if he hits it on you, and it probably will because you don't have your cooldowns, you know, he's going to get a full right click on you, and you're going to be really low and hurting. So it's not really worth it. So in this situation, I would have stayed on the point to where it wouldn't move. So honestly, you're good right here. The point's not moving, right? What I would do is I would just keep spamming him with your left clicks. And if he's hiding behind the point, you can just aim it so they explode on him and hit him with AoE damage. And you can just keep him there. And then, depending on what your team is doing behind you, they can eventually just kind of kill the McCree and clean it up for you. I would assume, because your team's winning. You got people killing Mercy and Genji. So there's not there's not really a big reason to why you should push the McCree. I don't know why the McCree didn't flashbang you, but hey, it's golden plat. Very good rock there. Here I would start recharging my shield and getting it ready for the next fight. It's way too low. Yeah, overall that fight was okay. Just a little bit of of min-maxing that you need to do. I would put the shield down here. You should recharge it. There's pretty big reasons to keep the shield, because now you don't have a shield, and there is a nano to McCree, and now they are diving and engaging, and you wasted your shield. You didn't even have a chance to use it. So here you're trying to peel. Yeah, that rock wasn't very good. I could see why you wanted to rock there. I feel like you're using your cooldowns. Like, I think you need to set yourself up to use your rock for points when you know it's going to land. Because it first off, it does a lot of damage. It's huge. It's big AoE. It's pretty easy to hit if people are up close. And secondly, it stuns. You can use that on a Genji when he's deflecting. Use it on the ball when he's slamming. Use it on a Winston if he leaps in without a bubble, because sometimes they'll do that because the bubble is a much longer cooldown. See right there, he's leaping in without a bubble, and you don't have a rock. You could easily rock him right here because his bubble is on cooldown. You know, you just saw it, and it's a much longer cooldown than a leap. And that would have been an instant kill. Let's go take a look at this grasp here. 400 health. Yeah, that grasp wasn't that great. You got hit by like a Genji Shuriken and decided to grasp. Not really great usage. You finally get your shield up. Your shield should always kind of be a priority. I think you could definitely work on that. Like, your shield management could definitely be a little bit better. You need to know when to charge it up. Essentially, if there's downtime in a fight. So this is another kind of concept. You have like sections in every single game, right? You have a fight in the middle, and then both of these sections what we call downtime. And so at the beginning of every fight, you're going to have downtime. That's before the fight starts. This is where you're going to use your abilities, but not use them in an aggressive manner to where you don't have them at all anymore. You want to use them in a way that prepare you for the fight. Maybe get some extra ult charge, things like that. That's the kind of stage 1 downtime. That's like people right-click Zen orbing a spawn door. Something a Sigma you could do, you could throw a rock in the air and try to hit someone in the spawn door. And then you have the actual fight. That's when the engage starts. People start pushing the payload, etc., etc. And then number 3 is the downtime before it kind of repeats again into the fight. As you see, it's just an endless kind of thing that happens. That's basically the timeline of every game. And so right now you're in stage 3 of the downtime, and one thing you could work on first off is managing your resources. So the difference between stage 1 and 3 downtime is 1, you have all of your resources, and 3, the fight's just finished, and so you don't have your resources. And by that I mean your cooldowns and your barrier and things like that. So what you want to do is you want to recover. So this is kind of like your DPS stage. Get off some small little chunks of damage in step 1 downtime where you can, free little bits for your ult charge. And 3 is kind of your heal stage, right? You're basically trying to recover anything that you lost. This is like a little, you know, like I'm healing. So you're trying to recover whatever resource it is that you've lost in stage 3, and then you kind of repeat the cycle. So that's basically all I want to get at. And for this, your big thing is your shield. You need to work on managing your shield and getting it back up to full before the next fight starts so you can use it to its full duration. You don't want to waste your shield in the middle of a fight to try and get chip damage on someone. And then once they full dive on you, oh, my shield's not up. Oh goodness, now they have ults too and I can't use it. It's not a situation you want to find yourself in. So what else do we got here? That rock was questionable at best. I don't know what you were thinking there. That was there someone over there? Why did you rock? That was just terrible. That was just terrible. I'm sorry, Isaiah, but that rock was not good. I don't know why you threw it out that way. Imagine if you had rock right there. Like, for context, you throw your rock out right there at pretty much nothing, and then you got a ball in here. Imagine what happens if you hit that ball. You have a Roadhog as your off tank. He could hook the ball because the ball is stunned. Like, there's so many things that rock could be used better on. See, and then now your Roadhog sucks. As you can see, your Roadhog is just as good at using his hook as you are at using your own rock. You're both terrible. And that's what could be really changed here. You need to save your rock for guaranteed hits. Don't just throw it out there on cooldown at someone long range like a pole like that. If you want to use your rock aggressively at the spawn door at the beginning of the game, that's fine. But I feel like that's the kind of the end at that point. You don't want to do it anymore. You want to save your rock for an engage, especially because they have Wrecking Ball and Winston. They have these dive kind of tanks, right? You can hit them with a rock and your Roadhog, you know, follows up with a hook. Then that person is most likely dead. So that's what your kind of goal is with the rock in this team comp, or just every game, like, right? You want to save your rock for these guaranteed hits on people. Right there, you could get a, oh yeah, nope, you missed it. Okay. Let's watch this again. It's unfortunate. You got to work on your mechanics with your rock. You should have hit the rock there, though. I'm confident enough that you could have. All right, so you have your shield, and you're not using it on the McCree. So that's another thing you could do. I do like that you used your grasp here, but why didn't you just re-put your shield up? You have plenty of time. If you see McCree using High Noon, you don't have to worry. He is not going to hit it. He's not going to hit you. You have 400 health. You can recall your shield and put it right in his face. That's all you got to do here. You don't need to panic grasp. High Noon does not activate at a pace to where you have to be panicked like that. It will be a very long charge time before you die, especially for full health. Okay, so you use a solo ult on the ball. Miss the rock. That's unfortunate, and you get the nano way too late. There's no need to wake him up there. He's nanoed. He's full health. Even though you're nanoed, look how much damage you did to him. Look how much damage you did with a nano. Like, do you see how little damage Sigma does to a nano target? I know you have nano, but do you realize how little damage a Hamid is going to take? Not only is he nanoed, he has armor, which is damage mitigation. That's what the yellow bar is. You don't have it, so maybe you don't notice it, but damage mitigation is very strong. And he also has damage mitigation from Nano as well. So yeah, there's no reason to wake up that ball. You let Nano just wait out. Okay, so what you could do right here, this is what I would do. If you have a full shield, what you can do is you can actually use your shield and push it through the mines and clear all of them, which is something I would do because now your team doesn't have any space. You have 3 people back here, and all this area they can't touch, right? So what you do is you just go ahead and plow, like this is a bunch of snow, and just plow through it and make a big opening so they can get through it. So yeah, that's what I would probably do right here because you have a full shield. Good kill on the Hammond, although you made a lot of errors. That rock was also at nobody. I think the ult usage is something we want to talk about here. Why did we use the ult on a solo ball? Did he upset you? Did you think this was the right play? Did you really hate that a ball got away with 1 HP? Sigma ult is way too man. So many errors here. Sigma ult is so much impact. I don't think you should have used it on a ball. There's no reason to. Plus, you woke up the sleeping nano target. I'm sure you can see the error. The only thing that we can really cover now is what you can do better. So first off, what can you do better? You can't ult the one person. You got to go for bigger ults than that. Ulting a ball, it's just not enough damage. Secondly, you woke up a nano target. You should never wake up anybody sleeping who has nano. You don't do enough damage to kill him, especially if it's a tank who has full health in a nano. Like, it's triple bad. It can be almost excusable if it's a squishy because it's like, oh, maybe I could kill him, but not here. And then lastly, you could have cleared those mines to help your team get space. And you also shot your rock at Bob, I guess. You thought Bob was an enemy? I'm not sure. So you're using your rock too aggressively. Imagine if you had your rock right here. You could stun this McCree, potentially, if you don't miss. Anyways, that's a lot of little errors that you got to work on. You got to work on the rock, like I said before. So right here, your Ashe kind of fed. And no, that is not me on Ashe before you ask. I am not Artori Plat in this game. So you should be recharging your shield. You get your shield recharging. Okay, your Ashe is out there. Like, way out there. The only thing you could have done here is put your shield out to protect the Ashe. Ashe probably shouldn't have been there in the first place, but if you do see a teammate out there, you should probably shield him because now he is big dead. Yeah, don't go for that res. Do not go for that res. It's a fairly decent fairly decent rock. Okay, so now your team's kind of feeding. Your Roadhog, why was your Roadhog there? I guess he wanted to just throw a hook out there and miss again. His hook accuracy has to be below like 10% at this point. I don't think I've seen it. Oh, man. Isaiah, buddy. Oh, Isaiah, where are you aiming? Isaiah, you got to work on your rocks. I suggest working on your aim with your rocks. If you're having a hard time hitting rocks, honestly, you can put your shield up and stand completely still and try using a rock while you yourself as the character, Sigma, is not moving, and that could help with your accuracy. And that is not like a troll tactic at all. That is a legit strategy. If I'm playing a hit scan character like McCree and Soldier and people are not firing at me, and you just stand still and you can hit your shots a lot easier, and people do that. Pros do that. GM players do that. You can do that as Sigma if you're safe behind your shield. I suggest maybe you try doing that with your rocks. And also, I suggest maybe using your rocks when people are just a bit closer. It's a good thing your Roadhog hit a hook. That's amazing. Where did you use your grasp here? So you started using your grasp when your shield was still up. That was very inefficient usage of your grasp. If somebody was shooting at you, you know, if you were getting shot at by this Tracer, for example, I would completely understand why you did that, but you weren't. You were getting shot at by nobody, and your shield was still up. And now, there's a Whole Hog. Imagine if you saved your grasp for this Whole Hog. Yeah, you gave him up too much free space. But I guess the fight was lost. It would have been like a 3v4, I think. 3v3, 3v4. Actually, no. Probably you should have recontested. You had pretty much your whole team there. And you had the better spawn at that point. Let's think about this. Can you touch this point? You want to touch this point. They have 3 or 4, but you have the better spawn if you can touch. I think that you could have touched this if you used your grasp on the Whole Hog instead of randomly for no reason. So yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. I think that maybe we could have recontested this point if you saved your grasp and used it aggressively to take space. Now you have 4 people here that are like in completely terrible position. So now you just need to regroup. Fall back, probably. I'm not sure what we're doing here. Kind of fighting in a weird spot. Everybody's kind of everywhere. It's kind of like gold. That rock would have been fine. If you hit that Roadhog with the rock, I'm totally for that. Because if that Roadhog clicked E, he might have like lived and got away because of the heal and damage reduction. Unless your Ana hit a fat anti or something. So here you need to be a bit aggressive though. You got really scared from this Tracer. If you can hit a Tracer with the rock, that's fantastic. But if you don't have your rock, then it's almost kind of pointless to like try to back off from a Tracer. As Sigma, you shouldn't be bullied by a Tracer, especially with your healers both alive. You have your Mercy still alive. I believe Ana, you can assume, is above you as well. So you should be fighting here. Knowing where to fight and knowing the line of sights of all your healers is very important, especially if you have a Ana as your healer. Mercy is different. You don't really have to worry. Mercy is going to heal you. She's able to get to you and get out. You don't have to worry about her. What you need to find is where your Ana is positioning. We can assume somewhere on these platforms because she is not dead. Oh, he's right there. Okay. So he's pocketing your Roadhog. Honestly, I would have helped them right there. Imagine if you were there in that fight. Instead of dealing with this Tracer and being in the backline, it seems like... Okay, so when you're at a low rank, people are not going to play where you want them to play. It's just not going to happen. So you have to decide if you want to be with them or play in the right position. And let me explain this a little bit. This might be a little bit of a weird concept, but it works especially if you're at a bit of a lower rank. So if you're playing with people that are playing aggressively and in weird positions, for example, this Roadhog, he's on the point. Normally you wouldn't fight here. And normally you probably would want to play around pillars and line of sight and things like this. And so you kind of are right for being here, but at the same time you're wrong because your team isn't playing around this. This is not what your team is doing. Your team is being aggressive and you kind of need to be with them. Otherwise, you're doing nothing for the team by being here. If you have all 5 players in weird spots and positions, but they're in a team fight and they're fighting and they're doing stuff, you being in the right position but doing nothing is essentially just AFK, right? Like, your shield is protecting nobody. It's not even protecting you because nobody's really shooting at you besides the Tracer. But even the Tracer on the enemy team just is like, oh, I'm just going to go in now because I don't have a Sigma in my face absorbing damage or blows. And so then your team whole dies and you have your good positioning, but what's it matter because your team's all dead. So even if your team is playing poorly and badly and in a weird spot, sometimes you kind of just have to like go with the flow and do whatever they're doing. You just have to kind of, it sucks. It's a weird thing to hear. But if you have your whole team doing a stupid play, sometimes if you can't beat them, you got to join them. So in that position, I would have gotten aggressive with your team because now you're just fighting a losing battle. It's a good ult. I don't know if it's going to bring it back. No, you did get 2. That's huge. Rock didn't get Tracer. I feel like you kind of aimed it. No, you aimed at the Tracer. It's hard to hit a Tracer. I respect that effort. That's good. That's fine. That was a good ult. I'm kind of surprised you ulted there. So that was probably why you ulted. You saw the big ult potential and you saw the anti and you went for it. Yeah, I respect that. That's good. That's good that you're able to follow up on that Sigma and you didn't have his grasp anymore. I'm actually amazed that that paid off. I guess you do have a Tracer, and the Tracer, even though she kind of like died early, she gets back to the fight early. I'm not sure if the melee... I don't know why you're meleeing so much. Are you trying to have a boxing match with them? Why are you meleeing him so much? Just shoot him. That's fine. You missed, which is, by the way, really bad. I can't believe you missed that rock on that guy. Holy fuck. I'm sorry, I skipped back a little bit. This shit. Excuse me. Missed the rock, which really not very good to hit the rock. 2 melees, 3 melees, 4 melees, 5 melees, 6. Missed the rock. 7 melees, and you're dead. So 7 melees. It's a little much, don't you think? Why were you so persistent on meleeing that Roadhog? I feel like I don't even need to say anything. You know what went wrong there, right? Like, I feel like you know what you did wrong there. There's no need for me to really go into great detail on that. Don't try to have a boxing match with the fucking Roadhog, dude. So here, the shield usage, pretty decent. Grasping a Genji doesn't really do anything. I wouldn't even bother. It's, if you're really low, a panic button maybe. Now, you kind of lost that fight anyway. There really wasn't much you could do there. The most you could have done there is not punch a Roadhog. Imagine how much more ult charge you probably would have had if you just hit... If those 7 melees were instead a bunch of just auto attack damage. If you just had a bunch of auto attack damage on that Roadhog, then the Roadhog would be dead. You probably have more ult charge, and then you wouldn't have never needed to use get revived, and then your Bursty would have had revive earlier into the fight for somebody else, and then you might have even had your ultimate because you would have had more uptime and more damage. And that fight could have been vastly different if that was the case. So little errors can snowball into big errors. They can affect the game later on. Not dying means more damage, more uptime, and you have more pressure and less point, being pushed and less abilities being used to heal you. Good rock! It's unfortunate he had at his heal. I feel like your Roadhog should have killed that Roadhog up close and personal like that. Your shield should be out. It's at 700 HP, and you didn't use it. So, yeah, the rock was really good. That Roadhog should have died. Your Roadhog should have been able to kill him while he was stunned. You have 700 shield. You grasp, little panicky grasp. You should have shielded first. Like, why don't you have your shield up right here? Use your grasp. That 700 damage could be blocked that you didn't put up. Then your rest of your team probably could have made it to the point. Yeah, you needed to use your shield first. Shield first. That should be priority number 1. Shield first. Grasp is your panic button for the most part. Alright, so we got these guys moving up. Oh, you could push on that guy. Oh, absolutely. You missed the rock again, and you tried to punch a Roadhog again. He died, though, luckily. Ooh, big ult, but a little early. That was a really ambitious ult, and I like how you used it on both the healers. That's huge. Good focus. You focused the right targets with that ult, so I definitely praise you for that, because that would have killed them. My question to you is why are you hitting the S key instead of the W key? Clearly, you have both of the healers in a position where they are stuck. You have more than full HP. Your team is all alive, and their team is only 5 people because you just killed Roadhog. Why are you hitting the S key in this situation? Why aren't you pressing the W key? You're playing a little too passive here, my dude. You're up 1. You ult them. You should be pressing W right here and going in to do an extra shot on these people and put more pressure on the point. You have 613 health. You have a Mercy on you, pocketing you with damage boost and everything. And you hit the S key. Your shots aren't even hitting them. Your Dragon's out. You hook someone, whole hog someone. Why are you so afraid to hit the S key there? You are the main tank. You are the front line. If you hit W there, you probably would have killed him. Oh, that's unfortunate. This is an odd position. You should not have gotten for... Yeah, that was... Like, you went for that health pack instead of... That's where you should have hit the S key instead of going for that health pack. That was not a good spot. You should not have gone for a health pack like that. There are times to get health packs. That was not one of them, sir. You should have backed off. You lost that fight from that nano blade. Your shield should be out first. It's out too late. Like, why don't you use your shield and then start using your abilities? Shield should come out first. That's priority number 1. You should be on the point here instead of trying to do damage. You're not getting any cover up there. That was... You have your grasp available. You have your shield. Not a very good shield, by the way. Did you think you recovered in the shield? Why didn't you grasp? You know what you did wrong here. I don't even need to say it. You could have used grasp. You could have put your shield in a different spot. You should have been on the ground and on the point sooner. They just kind of pushed up on you. You shouldn't really ever be on the high ground up here as a tank. Like, you're not a sniper, you know? Anyways, it's been 30 minutes, and I feel like I've gone through enough content here that you gotta look over, man. I'll maybe cover the next round in another video, but that's all I'm gonna do for this video. So just to give you the cliff notes, if you just want to watch the last bit of the video so I can tell you exactly what you need to work on, you need to stop being so scared. You need to be up and more aggressive, hitting the W key a little bit more. You need to be creating more space. You need to be using your shield more and first. That's the biggest thing. That is your priority. Your right click is very, very important. You need to use it first. Work on aiming your rocks a little bit better. You can wait until the enemy is, you know, closer and in your face more to use the rock. Use it as a bit more of an oh shit panic button if you have to. If your shield is up and you're not getting shot by anybody, you can stop moving for a second so you can aim your rock. You know, that can help a little bit. Use your grasp a little bit more efficiently. You're using it kind of in the wrong spots. Think to yourself what your grasp is going to block and what I should use it on. For example, I know that there's a whole hog because they have a roadhog. I'm going to wait to use grasp on that and try to absorb it as much as possible. You know, things like that. Your positioning needs to be worked on a bit. You shouldn't be on the high ground. You should be with your team more. Always be aware of where your team is, even if you're in the right position. If your team isn't, go where they are and help them. That's what you got to do. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Hope you get something out of this, Isaiah, or any other Sigma players that are watching it. And if you guys want some replay codes or VODs to send in for me, and I can maybe take a look at it, who knows? We'll see. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I'm Artorigold, and make sure to watch me live stream every day at 5 p.m. PST. Thanks. See you later.